on this episode of our Southern California Overland adventure.
Honestly, even if we end up camping in a parking lot somewhere, it'll be better than this.
All right, we just got to Death Valley National Park. We're going to head in and drive through Titus Canyon. So really looking forward to driving Titus Canyon.
Titus Canyon Road is a 27-mile-long dirt road featuring mile-high passes over rocky shelf roads, a scandalous ghost town, and ancient petroglyphs, all before ending with a tight squeeze through a deep, narrow canyon. Needless to say, we were all excited to experience it firsthand. After descending from a series of shelf roads, we made our first stop at the ghost town of Leadfield. Its story is one of deceit, scandal, and fraud. Leadfield boomed briefly in 1925 and 1926, in large part due to the efforts of C.C. Julian, a well-known oil promoter from Southern California who came to Leadfield and painted an attractive and misleading picture of the mine and surrounding area, including drawing images of steamships cruising up the Amargosa River hauling the ore from the Leadfield mines, conveniently leaving out the part where this river is usually dry, never deep, and not within 20 miles of Leadfield. However, the extensive promotion worked, and the Leadfield boom was on. Hundreds of miners and prospectors flooded the area, a hotel and post office were built, and Julian continued to wow investors, with stock prices briefly shooting up to $3.30 a share. Unfortunately for everyone, the ground was never as rich as it was made out to be, and due to a number of issues, by 1927 the town had died, making it one of the shortest-lived mining towns in the West, and another get-rich-quick scheme gone bad. At the very least, though, Julian must be given credit for building the Titus Canyon Road. Considered an engineering marvel at the time, the completion of this road would have never happened had it not been for his efforts. Our next stop was Clare Spring, a rare water source in this desert landscape and the site of some prehistoric petroglyphs. These petroglyphs were carved by Native Americans, who most likely came here to hunt the bighorn sheep that depended on this spring for water. And while many of the petroglyphs are undecipherable, others depict the wildlife of the area, and it all serves as a unique glimpse into the lives of humans from the past. After this final short stop, we were back on the trail, and it was time for Titus Canyon's grand finale. This tight, winding section of trail through the Titus Canyon Narrows was one of the most unique and interesting mile-and-a-half stretches of trail we had ever experienced. And as we exited the canyon, we were treated to our first views of the expansive Mesquite Flat sand dunes in the valley below.
All right, so let's give you all an update. We are at Mesquite Springs Campground in Death Valley National Park. And what have we decided?
It's quite windy.
It is hella windy. So we ended up putting the awning up for a quick minute. Connolly even zip tied the awning to everything.
Yeah, and it was still flapping around like crazy.
Yep, so we don't feel comfortable staying here, setting up a tent or anything like that. So what are we gonna do? What's plan B?
We are gonna go about 50 miles down the road and see if we can get a hotel. But honestly, even if we end up camping in a parking lot somewhere, it'll be better than this.
Yep. We're gonna head to Furnace Creek, which is about 50 miles south of here, to see if there is a hotel or other accommodations for us. So stay tuned for that.
Back on the road, our decision to head south in an effort to escape the wind was beginning to look more and more like a mistake. And then... Well, we are currently driving through a legit sandstorm in Death Valley. Death Valley is proving to be temperamental. We left camp and ran away because it was so windy, and now we are driving into something that is much worse.
Doing hard stuff without warning. It's like whiteout conditions.
I've never been caught in a sandstorm like this. It's blowing right across the road. You can really feel it in the truck.
Corey, I'm just going to put my hazards on just so you can see me if you're for better visibility.
Finally, the sandstorm began to relent, and we all breathed a collective sigh of relief. Only afterwards would we learn that wind gusts of up to 70 miles an hour had been recorded in Death Valley on this day.
We decided to drive 15 miles south to Furnace Creek to see what they had. We just left Furnace Creek.
It's worse down there!
Yeah. So now that we can't stay in Furnace Creek because all the campgrounds are full and the one hotel or resort was completely full, we are now driving to Beatty to see what they have there for us. Fingers crossed, plan C works.
Otherwise, I think we're sleeping in the truck.
We might be sleeping in the truck tonight.
On the side of the road. Although there are some camp spots over by Beatty and BLM land, so that might be an option too. It'll be dark by the time we get there.
See, the adventure continues.
Clear of the sandstorm and on our way to Beatty, we figured this was the end of our misadventure. If we only knew how wrong we were. So be sure to subscribe and tune in to the finale of our Southern California Overland adventure to see what happens.